They're making a sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. It's going to come out next year. And I think they should actually make they should do an Indian version of the original and call it The Devil Smells Like Hajmola.
I feel like they just shouldn't make a sequel.
Why? You'll see it. You'll love it. If they've got all the players back.
Doesn't matter. The story didn't need a sequel. Some stuff just doesn't need a sequel.
I agree, but there's some that if they did a sequel, I'd be so happy. Case in point, Nacho Libre doesn't need a sequel. If they made it, I'd be the first one in line.
And you know what it's going to be? Probably shit.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
No.
When was the last film that like considered like at least is somewhat of a classic, right? Because that's like an early 2000s classic.
Yeah, Devil Wears Prada is an early 2000s classic.
That then 20 years later, they made a sequel, and it was good.
Maverick.
That's an action movie.
Oh, so now we're getting genre specific? You
Yes.
didn't have any genre specificity. You said a movie that was a classic, and then at least 12 to 15 years later, they have a sequel that was any good. I just gave you the example.
Yeah, but that's action.
I don't.
That film only relies on action.
Okay. No, it doesn't. It's got a great story.
No.
Oh, my goodness. You're such a
it does not.
moron.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reaction. Corbin.
Wait, didn't we just end that, or is this the opening?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Welcome back.
No, this is the opening.
We got a little Anurag little thing. This is a snippet from a longer interview, so you guys can tell us if we should watch it. But this is Anurag our dosed on the difference between Kollywood and Bollywood, and the Pan-India film.
Yeah,
which I'm sure he's a big fan of. Here we go.
Pan-India is, for me, is a massive scam.
Whoa, there's no
Pan-India is
base.
a term. A film is a pan-India after it performs pan-India. How can the film be pan-India before it is even made?
No, I think
Right.
the goal is to make a pan-Indian
The
success.
goal is to make a pan-India success. What happens is, when a film, when they say pan-India, the film goes into production for 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years, a lot of people are surviving on that film. So a lot of people involved with that film, their lifestyle also depends on that film. So all the money doesn't go into the film. All the money doesn't go into the film. And the money that it goes into is not, the story is same, the actors are same. It goes into these massive, unreal sets that does not make sense. And 1% of it works. That 1% of it again starts the whole cycle of pan-India, pan-India, pan-India. So it is not like that. The problem is some films have become successful that nobody expected, like Stree became a success with no expectation from Stree. It became a massive success. That started horror comedy universe. Any film that comes out and becomes, Uri became a success, everybody started doing nationalistic films.
It's always been that way.
Post Bahubali, everybody wanted to do these big ass movies with Prabhas or somebody else. KGF became a success, everybody wants to emulate that.
Yeah.
And that's where the decline begins. There's a decline in storytelling. You're trying to appeal to everyone. People give themselves logic like today's audience doesn't have attention span, so there has to be one item every 2 minutes. No, you can't write a film like that.
Yeah.
You cannot write a film like that. So what happens is, for me, I'm a filmmaker at heart. So I'm right now, because I can't find it in Hindi, I'm searching. Maybe I'll find it in Tamil, maybe I'll find it in Karnataka, maybe I'll find it in Kerala. Somewhere somebody will understand the kind of films. I don't have a problem working backwards. I don't have a problem working on controlled costs. I don't have a problem working like that. But what is going on doesn't seem like films to me. And they're not rooted. The advantage with South films always is because, see, Hindi to India has become like English to the rest of the world. Right? They think a movie in English has a bigger market. Similarly, they expected Hindi means whole India is a market, which is not true. Hindi releases are very, except the big star cast films, they don't much, my films have not released much in Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Andhra. barring Hyderabad or barring Chennai, right? So it's not like that. The regional language, the advantage with regional language is they know they're catering. Tamil film is catering to people who speak and understand Tamil and who understand the culture. So the filmmakers, a person who spent his entire life in a village can also come and tell his story and be a filmmaker. And that's a lot of that is happening in regional languages. So stories are extremely rooted. Sometimes they come out and become a surprise. It's a recent phenomenon that Tamil is also started trying to compete with Telugu pan-India films. Because suddenly Tamil songs are in English. So I'm like, why? Who in Tamil cinema suddenly, they're all like some foreign rock band, everybody's singing in English, I'm coming for you, I'm gunning for you. I'm saying, this is not Tamil song. So Tamil songs used to be like what we used to borrow in Hindi.
Yeah.
From Raja, from everybody, we used to borrow in Hindi. But now Tamil songs are like, don't make sense to me. And the thing is, it all becomes a formula because everybody's chasing that elusive 800 crore, 900 crore, 1000 crores. The figures keep going up. But there's one film that has crossed 1000 crores, one film that has made 900 crores. In last 5 years, there must be like 4 to 5 films. That's it.
Yeah.
But we're making 1000 films a year.
Oh, that's a larger interview, you said,
Yeah,
right?
it's from a larger interview.
Good.
Obviously, I love listening to him talk because he's such a cinephile. And
Yeah.
he's such a lover of film. And obviously, as he said, he's a filmmaker at heart, whether you like the guy or not. He's a filmmaker. And he loves all kinds of cinema, too. Like when we talk to him, like he watches everything. Like he watched Patan, he watched, the bigger films, and he often helps with the smaller films. He produced a film that we saw at IFLA called Bad Girl.
He's
of
a
debut
big
director.
supporter of people who otherwise won't have a voice. And yeah, all that matters to him, same with you and me, we have preferences of genre that typically we enjoy more than others, but it's not like we dislike any of them. It's story.
Yeah.
Story, and then how excellent are all of the disciplines. How excellent is, because story is the writing. Then how good is the acting? How good is the cinematography? How good is the score? How good is the production design? How good are the visual effects? How good, but it all, first and foremost, is story.
Yeah.
And then we're having the same issue here in Hollywood.
Yep.
I watch pretty regularly. I keep track on the trailers that are coming out for films. And I'd say of the Hollywood films that are coming out, for every 6 or 7 trailers I see, only one interests me. Because I can tell from the trailers what they're trying to do, and it's not tell a good story. That's been common, especially this time of year. And he's absolutely right about a pan-Indian film doesn't become a pan-Indian film until it's embraced by the whole world.
Yeah, he was.
And like Rajmouli said, he said, I didn't set out with either Bahubali or RRR. I wasn't thinking, how's the whole world gonna... I just went about telling the story I want to tell.
Yeah. Which is what, obviously, as a filmmaker, your goal should be.
Yeah, and the reason it becomes popular is because it touches on universal truths. It's not just entertaining. There's something about it that resonates with everybody, no matter where you're from.
But yeah, I mean, you can see that, like, he might think that, I haven't talked to him specifically about it, but that his well has dried up in Hindi because they don't want to make his style of films anymore. They want to compromise his stories.
Right.
Whereas if he was like, I'm coming to Kerala or the Tamil industry or the Marathi industry and be like, I have this story, would you fund it for me?
Right.
And they'd be like, yeah, the budget might be smaller, but we'll do your movie the way you want to do it.
It's comparable to me of like finding out somebody like a Quentin Tarantino wasn't finding any interest in Hollywood, and so he went and he made the film and produced it and distributed it in the UK.
Yeah.
Because nobody here wants to back his stuff.
Yeah, it's
weird.
It's much more difficult in India, obviously, because everybody has a different language in each state, as opposed to, like, if you went to the UK, it's still English.
Correct.
He can
That's correct.
When you're having to translate your dialogue.
Right.
I think does he speak Tamil? I think he speaks Tamil.
I think he does.
I could be wrong, obviously. But yeah, that's got to be
Tough.
difficult as a purist filmmaker.
Well, and we've heard this story as well. It isn't just about who will back it. It's about distribution. And that's one of the reasons people won't back it. Because the number of screens that are available. Who was it we saw in a recent interview that was talking about that? Was it Shah Rukh Khan? Comparing the number of screens per person in India versus the number of screens per person in America.
Yeah.
And how if you want to really do things that are going to excel and accentuate and improve box office and movies, you need more screens. Mm-hmm. Because our rate of person per screen in America is way higher than in India. Obviously, 3 times as many people, but therefore you need 3 times as many theaters.
It just sucks when, like, we're being deprived of Anurag's filmmaking.
Or anybody's filmmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this would be any secret to anybody, and I don't think he would care that I'm saying this because it's the truth and he would like everybody to know this. Ram.
Yeah.
Been talking to him.
Yeah.
He's having a really difficult time getting distribution.
For
that film.
That makes sense, though.
It makes sense.
In terms of...
But it's awful.
100%.
It is awful that a film that superlative isn't immediately being jumped on.
Talking about The Fable.
The Fable.
We saw it at IFLA.
And because there's so few advocates like an Anurag, Guillermo is an advocate. Mm-hmm. Tarantino's an advocate. Brad Pitt's an advocate.
Martin Scorsese is.
Scorsese's an advocate. But they get inundated so much that they often have to just say, I can't do that right now. I have too many things on my plate. I got to focus on my creativity. And so you'll get schlock that's put out because a studio exec did some numbers and crunched them and said, well, Street 2 did good, so we're going to do this now because it's going to be in the same vein as Street 2, and we're just going to assume it's going to do great box office, and we're not particularly interested in the story or anything. We're just going to make it a horror comedy and attach some names, and we're going to have versus storytellers.
Yeah.
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 It's tough.
It's a business. Obviously, that's a lot of reasons why the filmmakers aren't often on the business side.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have to think about that stuff. Rightfully so. You're an artist. You shouldn't have to think about that stuff.
No, but the ones who can and should and are the Amir Khans, who the Shah Rukh Khans, who have the pockets and can take the risk.
Yeah.
You know?
But you still can't take a risk and be like, I'm going to give this movie a ton of movie, and you know it's not going to make that back. You have to be smart about it. You have to be like,
true.
I want to fund you, but it's got to be small because you can't just throw away money knowing you're not going to get. It's business. That's the unfortunate business side of filmmaking, which is why a lot of people shouldn't be producers. Certain people shouldn't be producers if they can't. Like, I'm not sure you would be the best producer of things.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Because you have a hard time disassociating the art form from the business side of it.
No, I would where I would do well for producing would be as if I'm in a film.
Yeah.
And I believe in it so much, I let everybody know, pay me on the back end. Yeah. That's my job.
Yeah,
but the strategizing and the looking at it, I would be so focused on just the simple fact of this thing is absolutely exceptional. Make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they produce. That's why it's a separate job. Obviously, you have to look at it artistically, but you also have to look at it as a business,
right?
And it's unfortunate, but that's just the reality that we live in, and that's why some producers are absolutely fantastic because they're very good at balancing both those things.
But that's why I love filmmakers that just say, "I don't care.
Yeah,
I have a story I'm going to tell, and I don't care if I lose my shirt."
Yep.
That's what Gibson did with The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
Everybody he went to said, you're telling a religious story in a dead language and you're making it rated R. So no families can go. It's not in any spoken language of any people on earth. and it's religious, no. He said, okay, fine. I'll spend $70 million in my own dollars because I love this. And if it doesn't work, I don't care because I want to make my film.
And now he's making a sequel.
Yep. You're not, are you looking forward? I'm looking forward to that. You're not looking forward to that?
No.
Oh, you're a madman. No. You're out of your mind.
You just talked about how he was doing it because of the R4. He's 100% doing it because of the money now. Like
I totally disagree.
That is 1,000% because of the money.
I absolutely disagree. You think Mel Gibson needs money?
He doesn't have as much as he used to, I'll tell you that.
Wow. No, I don't. I disagree. For a guy who directs once every 12 years.
I'm not saying he's poor. I'm saying he definitely doesn't have the money he used to.
I do not believe he's doing it for the money. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, let us know what you thought about this.
Yeah.
What your thoughts on it are. I love listening to Anurag, of course. He's he's a really smart and talented filmmaker.
Yep.
Anyways, let us know what you thought and anything else we need to know down below.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never fall.